Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. Are you currently thinking big enough in your business and your life? Do your current goals stretch you and take you outside of your comfort zone, or are you pretty comfortable with them and you know that you can hit them? Do you stop when you do hit them, or do you challenge yourself and push yourself further? So we tend to be restricted by what we think is possible. We constrain ourselves based on our own map to the world, what we've seen, heard, modeled, believe, and are told is possible for us. So we see what's possible for other people, but all too often we look at it and think that's for them, not me. And it's utter rubbish. And it really is. I know. I've spent most of my life living that way, and I know better now. You are restricting yourself by your version of reality, not reality itself. Now, really ponder on that one for a moment. Pause if you need to. But really ponder that. You are restricting yourself based on your version of reality, not reality itself. It's absolutely all possible. So one of the presuppositions of NLP is, if it's possible in the world, it's possible for me. You just need to work out how you need to think and who you need to be to make it possible for you. By who you need to be, I mean, what do you need to believe? What traits do you need to have? Is it patience, tenacity, confidence? Whatever it is, good news, you can learn it. Yay! So to illustrate all this and everything that I'm talking about today, I really love the quote by Vincent Peale, who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. And this is actually up on my wall right now. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. So I'll let you sit with that for a second. I absolutely love this quote. So it's a reminder for me to think big, to dream big, and that even if I don't get to exactly where I plan, because it's a massive stretch, it's okay, because I'll be a damn sight further along than I would have been if I was playing small and safe. Yeah. So think about it this way. When you know that the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between good or bad, right or wrong, and it goes by what you tell it, therefore, if you told it you want, just an example, 10% increase in revenue year on year, yeah, then it's working to get you a 10% increase in revenue year on year. It's working to filter out the opportunities for that. It's driving your work ethic to get that, and your goal setting to get that, everything. So it's a very reasonable and absolutely completely achievable goal, and you're very likely to hit it. You may even surpass it. But what if your goal was for 100% increase year on year, or 500% increase year on year? How would that change your behavior? How would it change your focus? How would it change your results? And even if you don't hit 500%, I'd be willing to bet that you'd be far further along than 10%. So why not shoot for the moon? Yeah, it's like start small, go big. There's something to be said for starting small, for sure. And I'm a big believer in this, niching down as much as you can, but nurturing a smaller number of clients and potential clients to the absolute best of your ability, so they become your biggest champions. You get incredible results, and you set up with a minimal outlay. However, having the end goal, not that there ever really is an end goal, you just keep growing and evolving, etc., etc. But having the end goal in mind will drive your success. So where could you be in the future? What you're aiming for, the big picture. And this is one of the many reasons it's so important to have a big reason behind doing what you're doing, not some fluffy wishy-washy why. Yeah. And I always say this, like peeling an onion. Whatever you're telling yourself is your why right now, keep asking yourself, what does it get you? And keep going until you know what it is. It helps you think bigger, and it changes your thoughts, your beliefs, your behaviors, and your actions to make sure that you're always taking those steps forward. Perhaps you want to start your own charity, or build schools in third world countries, or help save endangered species, or eradicate depression. What could that potential big legacy reason be behind what you're doing? Yeah, it could be something to do with your kids, with your family, anything, just something that's a real thing that you can leave behind, reason behind what you're doing. So this sort of thing, like this playing small, can happen a lot with setting pricing too. Sometimes we can assign a value to something based on our ideas of who we are, where we are currently in our journey, and also where we place our own worth. However, it is important to look at the size of the problem that you're solving and put the worth on it being solved. And for some problems, that's freaking priceless. But pricing yourself too low can actually be off-putting for people too. So if you have a choice of 3 courses or services that solve your problem, one's £50, one's £300, one's £1,000, which one do you want? And why? It's because of the perceived value of it, right? We assume that the higher priced product is going to be the best one. Yeah. And also, if you haven't looked at your pricing in comparison to your overall business goals, how are you ever going to know if you hit them? It's about working backwards and reverse engineering the end goal. Could you even get to your goal based on your pricing right now? And do you have plans for growth? You can also think of thinking big in terms of growth, expansion, scaling. What's phase 1? Then phase 2, 3, 4. As you keep growing and getting bigger, and make sure that you're creating that longevity for yourself as you go. And one of the ways that I look at this is I'll invest in systems at the best level that I can afford, or mentoring at the best level I can afford, future-proofing for where I know I will get to. Sometimes it's things I plan to grow into for some systems, for sure. For example, email. Yes, you can bootstrap to begin with, go for something like MailChimp, which is free, all of that sort of stuff. But eventually you're going to get to a point where you have to move all of that. So what I will do is bootstrap at the beginning and then keep your eye on things that you don't need just yet. However, I don't want to grow out of things, as it's extra time and money to migrate things across in the long run. So I would rather start with the system that I know that I want at the lowest level, and then the upgrades are within the same system and far easier. So that's one of the reasons that I went with Active Campaign, which I've just become an affiliate for, actually, which is awesome, because I really believe in it, and it's got everything that I could possibly need for now and the future. Yeah, and I know where everything is. I don't have to learn multiple systems, and for someone like me who is a little technologically inept, that's also a good thing. But also, when you think bigger, you won't let comparisonitis get in your way. You'll go for the opportunities that you might otherwise not, because you're not big enough yet. You're not well known enough yet. And my opinion is, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I've seen so many times people that just take action and ask for things often get them. So how can you think bigger? Firstly, always try to challenge yourself with the question, if I was thinking bigger here, what would it look like? And allow yourself time to dream. Use my age-old favorites, meditation and journaling, as a way to get those dreams out and into a doable structure. is all doable when you're actually looking for how to make it happen. Does that make sense? When you use what you already know about how to get your brain to work with you rather than against you. And if you're new to me, then have a binge of some more of my content and you'll be well on your way. Then you'll be absolutely unstoppable. And sometimes we stop when we can't see the next first step. Yeah. So keep asking, how can or how could I do this? Open up your thinking to solve the problem. Let your subconscious mind do the work. It wants to solve your problems. You know, another question, how could I make this a reality for me? And the answers will soon come. Believe it or not, you probably already have all the answers that you need. Or you can shortcut it and learn from someone who's already doing what you want to do. Magic. It's going to cost you time or money in the long run. You just got to decide which one's more of a priority to you. So another thing you can do is surround yourself with people who get where you're going and will keep pushing you along for the ride and catch you in those moments where you're thinking or playing small. Because so often when we're doing things based on our map of the world, we can't see that ourselves. So much of it will be unconscious behavior. So it's important to firstly increase your self-awareness, but also make it easy on yourself by being surrounded by other people who will see it a mile off and lovingly point out all the potential patterns. Yeah? And remember that everyone's version is different. Everyone's version of thinking big will be different. So make sure that you take the lead on what that looks like for you, but be honest and don't allow yourself to get caught up in fear. Ask yourself that question. Is this me being afraid, or is this actually what I want? And be honest with yourself. What do you really want? How big you're prepared to go will change and evolve over time. Taking that first step will soon turn into a leap. But there's definitely something to be said for slow and steady wins the race. And personally, I do think it builds great longevity because you're always thinking in 1, 5, 10, 20 years time, how you can grow and evolve. Are you going to be wanting to do this when you're 60, 70? How does everything you're doing now fit in with that? Yeah, so many of us with instant gratification, we plan for tomorrow, that we forget that we've got this beautiful lifetime ahead of us. Does what we're doing now fit in any way with what we want to do in 10, 20 years time? Yeah. So slow and steady wins the race. Awesome. But doing that with the big vision in mind, whoosh, that's powerful. So what could you do today to think a little bigger? It's really, really easy to get caught in thinking small. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. And it's just sometimes you need that little reminder of, hang on a minute, am I actually thinking about what I want my life to be like, where I want my business to go, what the problems I'm solving are, how big are they? Yeah, that's amazing that you can solve these problems. Absolutely amazing. Don't ever play that down, because that's another way that we can think small, is playing down what we know, playing down what we do. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.